The chill of January crept into the marbled corridors of the Palais de Koulouba, the presidential residence in Ouagadougou. Though Burkina Faso rarely saw true winter, a strange cold hung in the air, one that had nothing to do with weather. It was the cold of treachery, seeping through reinforced doors, slipping between meetings and handshakes. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, wrapped in a dark woolen coat, stood at the window of his study, watching as a new convoy of armored vehicles passed through the palace gates. But his thoughts were not on the motorcade. They were on the letter. An hour earlier, a red-sealed envelope had arrived from the Minister of Defense. Anonymous tip, no signature, no trace. Inside were 5 names, written in a trembling hand. All colonels, all loyalists to the old regime. And at the bottom, one phrase, underlined twice in crimson ink. Winter is their window. He gripped the letter tightly. Traoré had survived bombs, betrayal, and misinformation campaigns. But this smelled different. This wasn't a chaotic attempt by desperate officers. This had precision, planning, timing. He turned to his intelligence chief, Lieutenant Fatou Diallo, a woman as brilliant as she was relentless. "Run every name," he said. "I want their whereabouts, calls, movements, and visitors. Tonight." Fatou nodded sharply. "And if they're confirmed?" Traoré looked back to the window. "Then this winter ends in fire." The intelligence reports came in before midnight. 4 of the 5 names had clean records. But the 5th, Colonel Konaté, had gone dark for over 48 hours. His last known location? A private airstrip outside Bobo Dioulasso. From there, nothing. What worried Traoré most was not just Konaté's silence. It was the web around him. Konaté had once served as military attaché to France. He knew foreign channels, exiled political elites, and even a few Russian mercenaries through recent operations. According to intercepted calls, he had quietly reactivated a dormant network known as Bourrasque, a shadow cell created during the Compaoré era to suppress dissent and protect elite interests. This wasn't a coup in the making, it was already in motion. By morning, a photo landed on Fatou's desk. It showed Konaté in civilian clothes, shaking hands with an unidentified European man in Lomé, Togo. Facial recognition matched the European to a former DGSE, French Foreign Intelligence, liaison, now retired. The French embassy denied involvement, of course, but the whisper on the street was louder than any press conference. France was watching and maybe betting. That night, the compound's perimeter alarms triggered. Guards poured into the main courtyard, weapons drawn. For 30 minutes, chaos reigned, until it was declared a false alarm. No breach, no bodies, just static interference. But Traoré didn't believe in false alarms. He summoned Soro and Fatou to the war room, where grainy CCTV footage revealed what the human eye missed. A pulse, a ripple in the signal, lasting 2 seconds across the north quadrant, then vanishing. It wasn't natural. It was a signal jammer. Someone had tested their response time. "They're rehearsing," Fatou said grimly. "Timing how fast we mobilize. This isn't about chaos, it's a blueprint." Traoré nodded slowly. "Next time it won't be a rehearsal." A knife in the cabinet. 2 days later, during a routine cabinet meeting, an aide brought Traoré a confidential folder, marked D10. Inside was a bug transcript from the Ministry of Energy. Minister Diallo, one of the country's most respected technocrats, had been recorded in private conversation discussing a post-Traoré transition. The voice was unmistakable. "She said it casually," the intelligence summary read. But the phrasing matched language from foreign stabilization documents circulated before the Mali coup. This is not an accident. Someone is feeding them narratives, templates. Traoré set the file down slowly. This betrayal wasn't coming with tanks. It was coming with tea, smiles, and coded phrases in cabinet corridors. Stability, continuity, national unity. Words that meant remove him but make it legal. Just when the fog thickened, a visitor arrived without warning. General Andrei Malenkov, a military advisor attached to the Wagner-affiliated Russian security delegation, demanded a private audience. The Russians had offered security assistance since the fall of Damiba, eager to edge out French influence. In the dim-lit study, Malenkov lit a cigar, exhaled, and spoke in accented French. "You are being circled, Capitaine," he said. "They are not only in your army, they are in your ministries, your advisors, even your food." Traore stiffened. Malenkov slid a thin USB across the table. "A wiretap from Lomé. They mention you by name. They say he must fall before March, before the new gold agreements." Gold, always gold. Traore had signed controversial deals, nationalizing parts of Burkina's mines, cutting out Western middlemen. Billions were at stake. Now he understood. This wasn't just political. It was economic warfare. And March was their deadline. The final blow came from the unlikeliest place, his own medic, a quiet man named Dr. Karim. On January 29th, during a routine briefing on troop vaccinations, Fatou intercepted an encrypted message hidden in the clinic's data files. The contents were horrifying: a plan to poison Traoré during his upcoming speech at the National Military Academy, delivered not by bullet, but through a chemical compound administered during a health inspection. Karim was arrested that night. Under interrogation, he cracked. "Yes," he admitted, "I was paid. They said I'd be a hero, that Traoré's death would save the country." "Who is they?" Soro demanded. The medic whispered a name, then a second. One was a former interior minister, the other a sitting governor. Both had links to Konaté. Both had quietly left Ouagadougou 3 days ago. As dawn broke, Traoré watched the sun rise from the rooftop again. His enemies had not stopped. They had simply changed tactics. The shadow war was not over. It had just evolved. And winter in West Africa, though dry and sunlit, had never felt colder. To be continued in episode 3, The March Deadline.